Hello, everybody. Welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. And this episode, we're going to be doing all the normal things, aka Vraux, I guess, in this episode. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well today. We are having lots of fun. My rubber is still not caught up, and we know why that is. It's a formic acid issue, although it is about to start up again. But yeah, we're still short on rubber. Though the rubber stoppers have been soaking up a good amount of the rubber, so once that's backed up, we should see a bit more return on rubber. We're probably close to enough rubber, to be perfectly honest, and once these routes are going, we'll definitely be there. Because being able to just ship in a little bit of formic will make this more than enough. So the Vrauk build, returning to that. Let me add some more power real quick, though, because I keep forgetting about that. Let's see. Let's do that. All right, and then let's get a few more of these guys. Yeah, sure, 5 more feels great. Another 30 megawatts. How's power looking? Honestly, I mean, look at that green line. That's such a satisfying amount of tidal power that we've accomplished in the last 50 hours, really. So yeah, I think we're looking pretty good now. We've got over 500 megawatts of free tidal power. Yeah, that's awesome. And I was able to keep up with like around a gigawatt before tidal, so. That being said though, I don't know. I mean, I still need to keep adding it because we keep adding more buildings that require power, so there's not much I can do other than continue adding stuff. Alright, so this guy is still waiting for pure sand. I was thinking about a potential solution for that, which would only help a little bit, which would be to add more of these to process this sand separately. So we end up, that way when we get stone in, it adds more pure sand on top of the pure sand we're already making. That's just an idea though. I don't think it'll change the overall rate that much. It depends on how much stone we're getting in here. But yeah, overall I think I'm just kind of waiting for glass to catch up, which I hope it is, finally, but it looks like it isn't, which is crazy to me. Let me look at molten glass. Let's see, for the last hour, we've made an average of 6,000 a minute, which is pretty good, especially, I think this was around when we fixed. Yeah, see, this was before we got more pure sand going. And now since we've gotten more pure sand going, it's been doing a lot better. So I think we're on the right track with glass. Surely this is enough, right? 6.8 thousand a minute is over, it's like 110 molten a second. Is that not enough? Between glassware, let's see, glassware is like 24 a piece. Petri dishes are 25 a piece. Optical sets are 25 a piece. Glass is like, what's that, 7 a piece? But yeah, the consumption of all of those might just be high enough that we're not making enough glass, even after all that. Which would be crazy. I don't know. We'll give it like another hour and see if it settles down anywhere, but it doesn't seem like it is. Anyway, back to Vraux. We were very close to being done with this build. What did we still need? We needed an influx of barrels. We need power for that inserter. So the influx of barrels, I will do a one-time request for barrel. Empty barrel at the bottom. No, it's not at the bottom. Wait, where is empty barrel? Oh, it's in pie coal processing. Wait, so are all these? So it's in the middle of all this? Oh, that's bad. They need to change the sorting on empty barrel. Does it fit in alphabetically? No, of course it doesn't. That's really bad. It's right there. That's crazy. Why is it not the first one? Why are these in front of it? That seems like a bad sorting. Anyway, we want an initial request of probably 400 barrels. I don't exactly know how many we need. Let's see. We're putting 220 on the loop, plus we're gonna be loading this belt, which is 2, 9, 35 times 4 is 140 barrels. That's about 400 barrels. Plus all the buildings are gonna buffer 6 barrels. I think. Yeah. 6 times 18. There's another 120, 200. So we're gonna need like 600 barrels. I think should be a fairly safe estimate. And then we gotta request all the stuff, which we already requested sap and moss, and now we just need to request Vrauk food, which I already did. That's concerning. Uh-oh. Why am I not making Vrauk food? That one should be completely stocked. Oh, you know what? It's probably just not enough of it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I can fix this. I'm gonna make a little bit more space there, and then this has to go to 2200. We're gonna make all the foods. Corlex, I'm not gonna go to a full train. I just don't think I need it to a full train amount. Because Corlexes are only for the milk. And I'm not making any more of that right now. So we'll let that run, and then let's see. Back to Vrax. I am worried about this glass pure sand situation. We made it better, but do we still need to make it better? It feels crazy to me that we're consuming all of this pure sand. Not to mention, I am getting some over here once in a while, whenever I have extra gravel. Oh, by the way, how's ash dumping doing? It looks like we're keeping up. These are not running. Why is that? Uh-oh. Wait, we got... Did this break again? Or did I do something silly? Did ash get on this belt? Or coal dust, I mean? I mean, I remember that it could at one point. This shouldn't be able to pull anything other than ash out. What's on this belt? That's filtered ash, so that can only be ash. But yeah, I think we've got multiple buildings stopped up here with coal dust. How did that happen? Shouldn't be possible, I don't think. Not anymore, at least, right? I don't see how it's possible anymore. So if it is still happening, I'm at a loss. Let's go fix that though. Good old pyanodons, always gonna give you something to fix. 255 hours. It's been about 50 hours now since we unlocked Pi 2 Science, and I feel like we haven't really accomplished that much in the Pi 2 Science world. Despite that, we've mostly just been catching up and making sure things are working. These are not getting enough steam. Oh. Wait, what? Oh. Did I do a dumb? Yep, I did. You know, I've done a lot of smart by doing this, but then I end up doing a dumb by not undoing it when I extend things. And so it's ended up being a double-edged sword. I don't really know if I've made life easier or worse. Like, how many times would I have connected the wrong, you know, accidentally connected a pipe that shouldn't have been connected? It probably wouldn't have been as many times as I've screwed that up. So maybe it hasn't been worth it. Okay, and these guys are all here to just consume ash. We can consume up to 50 ash here. Oh. This is the final death for ash, but it doesn't seem like they're all working. Like, this isn't getting fully consumed, and that's 40. Oh, that's 45 by itself. Right. Alright, well at least all these are running, which should help things. Because these eat 10 a second each, which is pretty insane. And that gets a lot more coal dust spat out, a lot of tailings. Silver and gold, which, or tailings, soot is what I meant to say. Silver and gold are still not backed up, which is kind of actually surprising. Gold is about to be. No, it's 3,000 and 4,000. Okay, never mind. We're still a ways from backing up. But it should back up faster now with these running at full rate. I bet if I look at soot production... Nah, I guess we have to look at something like silver plate. Yeah, see, it was kind of consistent for a while. And then something happened, and now it's been crap ever since. Average 0.5 a minute over the last 10 hours. I wonder with all the extra soot if that helps. Probably still not much. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Vraux. Okay, so barrels are on the way using all my logistics bots. I'll just go over manually to move it. I don't know why I put it there. I should have put it over by the barreling machine. This is not the barreling machine. Anyway, and the Vrauk food should be here shortly, and then the flora. I just had that wrong, so the flora should arrive shortly. And then the barrels will be there, and Vrauks will be made. That's all there is to it. So let's head over to get things lined up manually. Get some coffee in my coffee hole. Chugga, 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 choo, choo. Alright. So, first things first, let's get some barrels over in the Vrauk looper. I'll just do that to start. Wait, I already have a chest. I can't see it, but it's back here. I just need to put all the barrels in there. Alright, and so, let's see. Now we're gonna... What am I here for? I was here for something. Was it just to move barrels? I thought it was for something else, too. No, I think I'm actually here just for barrels. Oh, no, to move... Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'm here to move these over. That's what we do. Alright, so then we put all those and those in there. And that should get those bits fired up. Okay. And yeah, I mean, at this point, there's just a large migration of barrels on the way. But that's taking a while. We are using all of our available logistics bots, but that's okay. We'll get an initial 400. I'll change the request down to 200. And then we'll take the barrels out. And we should see the food any minute now, right? This does seem like it's been running. Oh yeah, the food's on the way. It'll be here any second. Or it went somewhere else. Nope, it's here. Perfect. Perfection. Look at all that expensive yellow boxing. I paid a lot for these boxes. I really wish these were higher res icons. Like, look at that. There's like a little bug there. Like, I want to see the original high resolution version of this, because that looks so good. Like, what does it say there? It says the blank blank blank. I have no idea what that says, but I want to know what it says. I never know. There's a little bug on it. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love that. I'm absolutely in love with that sprite. I want that little bug plastered all over my base. If anyone can somehow get in contact with Pi himself and extract a high resolution version of that little bug, I want that bug in concrete art somewhere in my base. That's my task. If anyone wants to take on a gargantuan task, I want a high resolution version of that bug in concrete art in blueprint form. Send it to me and you'll get all the brownie points. I will put your name in the Patreon Hall of Honor, even though you're not a patron, if you do that for me. That is my promise, because that would be an incredible act of service. Okay, so here come all the barrels. It's like all the helicopters flying in, you know? All right, I'll wait a minute until that's done. So what are we doing next? Because the routes are basically done. So what we need to do is some form of panic. Okay, well, here's another question. If I'm low, or not if I'm low, if I'm saturated, satiated is the word I meant to say. If I'm satiated on rubber, meaning I'm not hungry for it. Oh, where's my rubber? Up here. So let's say I have like enough rubber. Do I want to make the formic that we then use to like keep it topped up? Do I want to make that formic with Vraux, or do I want to make it chemically? Basically what I'm asking is, do I want Vraux to create ammonia? And the answer to that's obviously yes. Because Vraux are annoying, but now that I have them set up, well, I've got them set up. So what that means is I want the formic that we're providing here to be used first in our rubber making, because we're not using formic for anything else. And I don't think formic does get used for anything else. Is that true? It's not totally true, actually. It's used for pre-fiber, and it's used for bedding, at least a version of bedding. Okay, so formic is used for other things. So now we get into a sticky situation where if we have more than enough ammonia, then this actually then formic used for making rubber is actually a bad thing again. So we have this weird like back and forth, and we'll have to add in potential controls for that. But for now, I want to just, because I'm not using it for anything else, I want to prioritize eating Vraux first. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in a formic request here, I think. Regular priority. Yeah. So we'll add in a formic acid request for, yeah, we'll do 50,000. No, we'll do the full 75. The rates here are very fast that we consume things at. And then we'll gotta put this here. What language am I speaking? Okay, and then we gotta hook that up through to those. And then we gotta do a sideways right there. Perfect. Okay, so that's formic. And then this is formic here. And we're actually making the formic here. So we want to top up. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go across here. So there's formic connected, but then we need to do a top up. To 20% with ammonia methods. So the ammonia methods will run if we suck up all the formic acid and we don't have any more to deliver with trains. At some point I'll want to change that. I don't know exactly how we'll change it, but I'll get there. And then this needs to filter on formic acid. However, I actually want to wait on that. I want to wait until... Oh, it is all hooked up. Perfect. Well, I don't want to wait on that then. Formic acid. Beautiful. My beautiful babies. Alright, now Vrauks are gonna get choppy-choppied again. That should give us some brains too. One of the reasons I'm okay with this is we actually want the brains for vat brains eventually, which is gonna be a thing soon enough. I'm a bit worried that we haven't seen Flora show up. Did I screw up? Does Flora stack to 100? No. So I didn't do negative. That's the problem. There we go. Now Flora will show up. At least I think it will. So we hope. Speaking of Flora, how's our Flora patch doing? It is shrinkifying, which is scary. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I think we're okay? No, there's Flora on this belt. I think we're okay. Seems like we're okay. This method felt so iffy to me, but it seems to still be working, so... I don't know. Guess we'll just accept that it's working. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like they're mining stuff. What's going on with this? Is this getting used? It looks like it's not getting used. Okay, let's follow this route first. So this was going to AUGs, I believe, which we've shut down this AUG production completely. I am leaving it here. There's something fun about this. This feels like Fawoji! Fawoji! Alert! Alert! Fawoji's done! Ding dong, the Fawoji's done. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's stop these immediately. We've completed, what is that? 1200 plus 203, no, 213. 1413. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so 1413. Fawoji Mark II, 1413 for 2. What is our percentage on that? It's not going to be as terrible because the second one we actually got fairly quickly. Alright, so let's see. Probability of success, 0.005. Number of trials, 1413. Number of successes. So wait, how do I do this? I put in the number of successes. I actually plug in 2 for the number of success, but then I want the probability that X is less than 2. So we got 0.68%. So I was still in the bottom 1% of players at the end of it all, but slightly better than the bottom 10, the bottom 1,000. We're at least in the bottom 6 out of 1,000. So there's still 5 more players in the group of 1,000 that fared worse than me, is kind of how you think about that. Alright. Confirm our luck tracker update. Where's the alarm for this? I actually don't see it. Wait, where is this thing? Legitimately, I'm not seeing the alarm. I see there. Oh, it's exactly behind that. That's funny. Okay, so we got lots to do here. So first of all, we change this to 200. Then I take all the barrels. Then I put all the barrels in here. Then I was looking at a belt here just to guarantee. Okay, I was in the middle of a thought. The thing I was gonna say is it reminds me of those old theme parks. Like when you see an abandoned theme park and it's all overgrown and you know, you see like a random clown statue thing that's like got moss coming out of its eyeballs and you're like, oh, horrific. Like there's just something so uncanny about it. And I feel a little bit like that's what we're doing here. I mean, we even have spoilage going on. It's kind of fun to just leave the old base the way it was, and we're not using anything. You know, these pieces of biomass are doomed to loop forever. At some point, we're talking like another 700 hours down the road. It's possible I run into UPS issues, and then deconstructing all this might actually help me. But for now, it's totally fine. For now, it's totally fine. I could at least... No, we'll leave it. I was gonna say I could remove circuit connections and stuff and delete the inserters, because inserters do take UPS, but I don't know if idle inserters take UPS. Like when they're just stuck. I don't know if they do anything. I'm sure there's some amount of overhead somewhere, but I don't think it's very much. Anyway, my copper ore is actually like starting to run out. I don't know. It's still 5 million though. But yeah, it's probably good to do a quick ore check on stuff. So floor is fine. Aluminum is fine. Zinc still seems fine. Chromium, I mean, chromium's gotta be fine. This stone is actually legitimately gonna run out. The Keratin is running out. So I do think I'm gonna do what I talked about. What's the distance here? So the distance is 300, 500, 700. So we're only talking about like a 700 length belt. Given the rates and the fact that it'll already be stacked, we can get a cool 45 a second going without much work. So I think I'm just gonna do that. That is why we built this after all. Let me put this on the list though. Western stone mine. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna finish the Vraux. Finish what we started. And then what was the other thing? Oh, the Fawoji. Right. Okay. All right, well this has got what we need, so I'm just gonna delete it and then plop it here. That should be enough barrels for everything. These are now running. Perfect. And these are all running. Well, no. These are running, but these are not. But that's at least on the right ballpark. Okay, and the mixer is mixing. Yeah, I mean... seems to be doing what we need to be doing here. I'm a bit concerned we don't have enough barrels. Actually, at the end of the day. So I might request a few more. Ugh, empty. Can I type TY? That still leaves a few. I'll do another 50 barrels. Okay, and we're gonna go set up the Fawoji. That could have been cry death right there. But it was not. Oh, you know what? We can just walk over there. Or drive. I don't drive the automotive very often anymore. We do still have it. Okay, so Fawoji. So what's this process look like now? So we have the need to make Fawoji spores Mark II. So I need a spore collector and then a Fawoji plantation with biomass, fertilizer, and hydrogen. So we already have the fertilizer and hydrogen, but I need biomass over here, which I don't think... Have we requested biomass yet? I don't think we have. Do I not need Mo 03 anymore, or are we just out of Mo 03? What? Oh my god, I never filtered this. Shoot. The good news is that I have a lot of molybdenum. The bad news is that I have a lot of molybdenum. That's funny. That is humorous to me. All right, so what's the easiest way to fix this? Probably just this. And then that gives us enough space for the Mu 3 that we need. Goodness. All right. So that fixes that problem. Next on the problem list was back to Fuwoji Mark II, and we need to request biomass in some form. Goodness, and we're already 30 minutes into this video. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, so then let's see. We're gonna need, well, realistically, we can just remove a lot of this and this. And then now we switch you to that. And then this kind of needs to become biomass, though the rate that I need biomass is probably small. Yeah, I mean, this is just a very simple situation here. So let's see. So what we need is to request biomass. Can this fit enough stuff? 156. Yeah, we can request biomass. The real biomass. One. Copy that. Biomass, the real biomass. Will the real biomass please stand up? All right, and then this, turn that request off. Biomass, 50. Great. Water's already plugged in. Hydrogen's already plugged in. I didn't break any of the pipe connections here because I just deleted pass-throughs. So that shouldn't change anything. And then here we've got our output, which goes directly into making more spores, which gets direct inserted into there, which should be sufficient, and this makes more spores, so the spores will always like back up. So then whatever's left over in here is just what we have available in terms of Fuwoji Mark II. So we'll let that build up over time. It stacks to 50, so 500 feels honestly more than enough. Because we also can go to the second Fuwoji recipe on top of Fuwoji Mark II. So we're gonna like quadruple our speed here, and we only have 30, which is 300 modules. So 10 stacks, yeah, 500 modules. So that feels fine. So we'll let that build up over time. And biomass has still not been delivered, but I'm thinking it should be soon. Look at that. Wait, did we just request? Oh my god. I don't know if anyone ever pointed that out, but if you did, I'm sorry I missed it. Wow. That's hilarious. Am I doing something wrong here? Yes, very much so. Very much so. Am I doing something wrong here? Okay. We have enough Moondrop Seeds Mark II to last me a long time. The good news is I didn't break anything. We haven't been wasting anything. It's just that we make seeds faster than we grow them up into plants, into mushrooms. So that's all that was going on there. All right, and then this is now getting biomass delivered. Perfect. Oh, and I need to feed this with the 2 starters. And then these are channel 0 storage, so let's get rid of my soil, Fawoji spores, Fawoji, most of the fertilizer, the biomass, and we need all that crap. Actually, I'll keep 100 stone. Why not? All right, and then we're running. Perfect. And it makes a guaranteed 2 Fawoji back with a chance at another. And it just keeps looping. What's our actual rate here? 0.5 a minute. But that really means 0.5 a minute, because remember, 2 of those get recycled back. The ratio is terrible here. So 0.5 a minute means I'm only getting 30 an hour. Wow, that's slower than I thought it was. I only get 30 an hour from this? Yikes. I might set up a second one. Because that'll take me 10 hours to replace it. Yeah, I'm gonna set up a second one. Well, it'll go twice as fast though, as soon as I have a few to put in here. That is worth thinking about. So then it'll be 60 an hour. I mean, I'm already this far. Not mixed fluids. Oh, right. I'm already this far. We might as well just do that. I can even just double the requests. Use the same inserter. Use the same strategy here. I mean, that's literally it. And then just reduce the maximum of each of these by a little bit. Okay. I will need some initial extra spores to get that started eventually, but... Okay, so that's done. Back to Vraux. Are they running yet? They are... Yes, running. Yeah, they're running. Better go catch them. Mixing seems to be having mixed results currently. The sap and moss don't seem very evenly distributed. But I think that's getting better over time. As more buildings start to run, they run on different cycles. If they get delayed for a second because they didn't have enough ingredients, that puts it on a different cycle. So there's all sorts of things that cause cycles to be different. I'm actually realizing these input inserters are not fast enough. Especially because they can't always find what they're looking for. That's a really important thing to consider when you're dealing with inserter rates. If we add together all those ingredients, first of all, it's more than 1.2, so I already know it's not enough. But on top of that, the rates only matter exactly if, you know, the total that we need... Oh, I see what's happening. When something... Yeah. So, like, sap is not really keeping up, I guess. Interesting. And there's a little bit of fluctuation because I'm not reading the mixer. But that should all balance out over time, so I'm not really worried about that. Anyway, but yeah, like the inserters aren't always seeing a flora, so if it needs more flora, well, that it might wait, it might have a pause, which slows down the overall rate again. So to keep things running, you want to make sure you have more than enough rate. And here, if we add together 0.95 plus the food is 1.28 plus another 0.5, 1.78. I mean, we're almost to a second in, which actually, like, I think I'm gonna add one more. Just because I really do think that sometimes it might not run at full speed with just the 2 inserters. Because 2 inserters is just barely enough. We have about 2 items a second in, and these are 2.4. And I don't know if a 20% margin is enough on a sushi belt. But all that being said, we should be seeing some little Vraukies get dumped on here. We are limiting Vrauks to 100 on the belt, by the way. So that, I wanted to double check that. But yeah, Vrauks are running. All is well in the neighborhood, and once we have enough Vrauks, we will stop requesting flora. And at that point, all the flora should get used up. Or at least most of it. The flora that's on this belt will decay over time, and then it'll get unloaded and recycled, and then that'll decay, and then that'll get unloaded, and it'll be in this infinite loop until eventually it's all gone. But given it's just a percentage of it that we lose every loop, it's gonna be like the heat death of the universe amounts of time, because it's 3 hours per cycle, and we only lose a fourth of it. And I've probably got, because remember this is stacked, so there's 12 on each of these belts. And so if we measure that, you know, that's like 600, and we lose a fourth of that every step. It's gonna take like 20 or 30 steps to actually get down to 0. I don't know exactly how many, but it feels like it would be a lot of steps. Exponential stuff shrinks quickly, but still not that quickly. Not when you're keeping 75% of something. But now I'm curious, so I've got my browser open already. So 0.75 to the 10th power is still 5% of what you started with. 0.75 to the 20th power is 0.003. So out of 600, that would leave us with like 2 items. Okay. So yeah, it would be about 20 cycles of 3, so about 60 hours. A little sooner than the heat death of the universe, hopefully. Anyway, we have enough spores. I was hopeful that that would be done to get this one started. So now they're both running. And there's Fawoji Mark II, happy as a clam. Our Seaweed Mark II should be catching up. And Seaweed Mark III we already implemented, right? Yeah, so I've got Fast AF Seaweed. Beautiful. I love that. Okay, and then soon we'll have Fast AF Fawoji and Fast AF Moondrops. Not that I'm even really using Moondrops. These are all running, though. Is that just because of the Mark II rolling for Moondrops? Huh. But it looks like this was backed up, so I'm not worried about it. All right. Well, is there anything else? Let's do the Western Stone Mine, and then we'll need to call it an episode, or at least I'll get started on it. I don't know if we'll be able to finish, but let's see. I generally don't think I'm going to want to build out here, but I do wonder... Can I fit the T intersection here without much trouble? Yeah. Just to get more bot coverage. Let me actually just build one here. Okay, and then get rid of these, and then we're gonna need a bunch of mines. Oop, I want this to be balanced. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this. And this. I really should have set up the proper blueprint before, but I didn't. Whatever. This should be fine. Okay, do that. That powers up everything there. Somehow we didn't run into the rails either. That was all very convenient. Belt. Belt. Lamp. Okay, so then we're going to bring the belt to here. I will mix them to make sure these belts are even. Oh gosh. And we'll just shift drag all the way over. Okay, my next question is, do I want to go across? Let's see. No, I think I'll stay on the outside here, and I'll go kind of across this section. Maybe we can go through the middle, maybe past the chain signal here. Does that fit? Yeah. So that seems to work. So we'll have corners like this. Jeez, that was so fast. Did that skip squares? I don't think it did. And then that goes... I'll just do one corner because it looks cleaner. Wastes a little bit of space, but that's fine. So we do that, and then across, and then across again. So we're going just on the side of that outer chain signal, which is right here. Wait, I did something wrong. Oh, the chain signal's not on the same square every time. So I think it's right here that we're talking. All right. Yeah. So there to there, and there to there. But then these stupid trees, I can't see, but I'm pretty sure those don't connect up correctly. Yeah, they don't. So I actually need to go one tile further out. At least I assume it's one tile further out. It could be even further. But if we do that... Yeah, that fits. So it comes out next to the signal on that side. And then it goes underground one space away from that signal on that side. Like this. Okay, that way we're symmetrical. And then that goes there. It's really hard to build with these trees in the way, but I think we've done this all correctly. Okay. And then from there, we go back to our little following the rails. Our poor bots are not a fan of this. I'm thinking about changing from Shift A for one of my Bob's inserters things, because it keeps me from being able to click drag to the left for blueprint stuff. But it's just so useful as a hotkey. Alright, and then over here we've got this guy. This guy. Okay. Alright, and that will supplement all of our rock mining, which, just to make sure we've got all the rocks covered, let's build all that. And then this won't be a full belt for very long, but it will be a full belt for now. Merge that in. Okay, and then I don't really know exactly what's going on here. This one's dead, so let's fully remove it. And then I'm going to have this one come over here. And now I need, let's see. Now I need to merge these two. Let's see. With these two. So here we'll have input priority left, and we'll have our first belt come in. And then here we'll have input priority left. Have our next belt come in. Okay, so then these two are the new ones. All right, I believe that is it. Hey, it was 1337 for a second. What a fun number. Leet, and look at this. We got our to-do list for the next episode. Kickout Mark II. Perfect timing. Stop the input. What did we get? 396 products for 5 successes on 2%. So, kick out Mark II, 396 for 5 at 2%. I'll write that in there because 2% is not the normal rate for most things. And then using our calculator, let's see, 396, or sorry, 0.02 is chance of success, number of trials, 396, number of successes, 5. Probability X is less than 5 is 10.2%. So actually we got unlucky? Wait, are you serious? Wait, am I looking at the wrong number again? Hold on, wait. So what would the expected value be? After 100 rolls, you'd expect to have 2. 200 rolls, you'd expect to have 4. So yeah, 250 rolls, I guess, is the expected value. So actually, yeah, we are unlucky. That's crazy. And again, to be in the median of players, to be right in the middle, where like half of players are better than you, half of players are worse, it actually wouldn't be 250 trials. It's probably around like 200 trials. 220 trials. I'm typing it in right now. So at 225 trials, okay, maybe 230, 234. Yeah, it's right around 233, 234 trials is where half of players are worse than you. I still feel like my brain is not quite grasping the exact ideas here, because what was our example? With a 1% chance of success and 100 trials for one success, you'd expect that to be in the 50th percentile, but it's not. It's in the 36th percentile. So that's a classic example of like the median being lower. And that was where 70 trials was right around, yeah, the 50th percentile. Okay, I was doing the math right, because I knew that 70 was the correct number for 1%. Apparently, as you go to a higher percentage, the expected value and the median value get a little bit closer. And that's because the skew isn't as crazy, because the variance is lower with higher amounts. Oh, that's what it is. It's because of the higher amount. It's because we rolled 5 items. When you roll 5 items, the variance is a lot lower. So that's why the median is like 233 compared to the mean of 250. That's why those two numbers are so close, is because we're rolling 5 items. Sorry, that's the difference. If we looked at 2% chance of success and 50 trials, which would, for one success, we do only have a 36% chance to be that unlucky, which is pretty far off from 50%, which is what you'd expect, because that is the average number of rolls. Anyway, I really digressed there. Thanks for listening to my stats nerdiness. And we're gonna get rid of those speakers and deal with Kickout in the next episode. We've gotten a lot done. We've gotten our full Vrauk build complete. We worked on a couple things. Hopefully glass has continued being good. Yes, it has. Oh, beautiful. We've got almost a full hour of constant glass production. Okay, I am hoping glass is catching up. I am hoping it's catching up, but it might not be. It might not be, but it seems like we might be getting there. I don't know. I don't know, man. I hope we're getting there. Anyway, I'm gonna call this an episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.